was able to go and train over 450 EMS first responders in Lucas County.
Amazing.
And I shared my story focusing on just where I was, how first responders, especially in that accident, played such a role in my life. That subtle, they're not going to be the ones holding your hand to treatment, but that experience being positive can maybe that person will wake up the next day and say, you know what, maybe I'm worth it. I can't remember the last time I felt treated like a human. I'm going to call for help. But if I can help save one person's life, I still struggle with, am I deserving of what I have today? It makes it all worth it. And I think that's my why with what I do.
Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Full Belly Podcast. My name is Matt. I am your host. Super excited. We've got a really good guest on today, as we always do, because we don't bring bad guests on. But this guest is really, really good. Setting the bar high. Obviously, we're going to talk about what makes us full. We used to have nothing. Our bellies used to be completely empty. We had nothing on our plates. And now we're full with a full plate and life is good. So we want to talk about how that process occurs in people's lives in a variety of different ways, in the hopes that somebody sees this information, hears it, shares it, and ultimately somebody finds help. So that's what we're here for. As you guys know, Juan is our co-host. You guys freaking know Juan. I mean, what the heck? Say hi to Juan.
What up, what up?
No, I told them to say hi to you. I didn't ask you to say hi to them. So now, please say hi to them.
Hello. That got weird.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't mean for that to happen. I really don't know why I did it, but I did it.
Man.
Thank you. Thanks, dude.
No, that wasn't planned.
No, it never is. It never is.
Organic.
It just happens because we're related.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we're related.
Yep. Paternal twins. But we're like 5 years apart.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. Different moms, different embryos, but
same time though.
Yeah. Same time.
But 5 years apart.
About 5 years apart.
It doesn't really have to make sense for you to understand. The biggest thing is that we get it.
Yep.
And sometimes I don't understand it.
Yeah. That's it.
So there's that. I like your little setup. You literally have
you see that?
Your phone is on a charger that's not plugged into anything. It's just facing you.
It just works.
Like a screen.
Yeah.
Just so you can get notifications without moving your head too much or looking down at your phone.
Yep.
I want to introduce our guest because I'm really excited. I don't want to waste any more time. I'm going to get him on here. So let me read a little bit of information about our friend Tony, who's going to be on here with us. Tony D. He's a person who's transformed his own struggles with addiction into a powerful force for good in his community. As the Overdose Prevention Program Coordinator at Toledo Lucas County Health Department, he's dedicated his career to helping others avoid the pain of suffering that he once endured. With a degree in public health from The Ohio State University and a background in social services, he brings a wealth of expertise and experience to his work. He graduated as a proud member of the collegiate recovery community, and his passion for serving others is palpable. That means you can feel it.
Feel it.
So without further ado, please join me in welcoming our guest today, Tony. Welcome, Tony. Tony. You know that song, Tony?
Ooh, no, I know it. A band, a group.
The album. Wasn't it an album by Tony Brown? Tony's a group?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, dude.
Hold on a minute. Talk to Tony for a second.
Bro,
First of all, Tony, I don't know if you heard it.
It's our anniversary.
Hold on a minute, Tony.
I don't know this
Whatever
song,
you
so you're going to have to enlighten me.
Is it Toni or Tony?
Why?
It is Anthony. A group. It's a band.
That's right. I told you.
It's different Tonys.
It's different Tonys.
Tony, Toni, and Tone.
That's right. Can't believe you don't know.
I thought it was Tony Braxton's song or something.
No,
I was way off.
Way off.
When we introduced you, you didn't have you couldn't have the mic, the earphones on. But when you were walking up,
there was
a
music.
Round of applause. There was a round of applause. Oh, that would be cool if it was like an entrance
I was
song.
expecting like Rocky music.
Ooh, we could
I
probably
didn't know what to
that
do.
in.
I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know what to do with their hands on the show. I don't know why. Just do whatever.
I think
we had someone be like,
I'm going to pass on that, but
you could do that if you want to.
But thank you for the kind words, and thank you both so much for having me today.
Of course.
Very, very grateful.
Yeah, man.
So.
When I know that we've been trying to make this happen for a long time. We've worked together on a few different initiatives in the community. I know that you do amazing work. And when I heard that you were coming on, I was like, yes, Tony, we're doing this. We're going to talk because seriously, the stuff that you're doing with the health department is incredible.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a little bit. I don't want to go too deep right now. Let's talk about some current events.
Ooh.
Deal.
Current events. Okay. Things that are happening in our world. The hell are you doing?
I'm moving. I'm a big fella. My circulation's weird.
My gosh. I think we should start over from the beginning.
You see how he shames me every time? Look at how surprised he looks looking at you. Like, are you like?
Don't put him in the middle of this.
I'm
this has nothing to do with this.
He was looking at you like, is this man serious right now?
No, he was looking at you as like how interruptive that was.
His head was pointed towards you.
He was looking in the mirror.
Guys,
behind me.
This is another instance where Matt's cheating me and he's trying to screw me over, man. Screw me over. Screw me over.
All right. Did you guys know that they found a submarine off of the coast of Colombia that had $87 million worth of cocaine in it?
I did not know that. No.
Now you know. What would you do if you just stumbled across a submarine or a boat or anything with $87 million worth of cocaine? Here, better question. Pre-recovery and post-recovery. Like, what would your initial reaction be?
Pre-recovery?
Yeah, pre-recovery.
I for sure would have been like, I'm going to be a drug king. I
can see you.
I am going to be a drug lord.
Yeah.
And post, I'm going to be a drug king.
Either way, dude, you're going into the industry.
87 million?
87 M's, dude.
That might test my mettle and my integrity, dog. Right? Like, what?
In the middle of the ocean.
Man, crazy. Either that or I just live on the submarine.
You're just eating cocaine, drinking cocaine, snorting cocaine
pancakes.
I think I used to have, which tells you how sick we can be, but I used to have this fantasy of like, what if my drug was full of like all the drugs I've ever done and I just had saved them and never used them? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a similar feeling pre-recovery.
All of it.
Finding that like I'd sell some and I'd just, I'd be dead. But
yeah. 100%.
Post, I don't know. I'd probably be so panicked and anxious. I'd be like, I'm going to get in trouble for this.
100%.
And I would probably call my wife and then I'd be like, what the hell do I do? And then I would probably call whoever she told me to call, the police or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I would have to turn it in.
Or I would think that like the cartel was monitoring it and that I am done for because even just seeing it is too much.
Seriously.
So,
I would literally jump in the ocean. I hate the deep parts of the ocean. Put me within like 10 feet of the beach, I'm cool. Yeah. Because there's no sharks there. There's no like fish that have hooks and like weird eyes and like light up because they're so freaking scary and like deep, never been noticed before. Yeah. You put me out in the middle where submarines have to be where there's like depth.
Kind of
dark.
No. I mean, yes, they can be there up top, but they go down deep. That's why they're sub means under, below.
Sure. You be down,
down marine, under the water, under
periscopes.
If you're in an area where there's freaking submarines, dude, I'm still jumping into the water and risking being eaten by one of those freaking lighting up scary fish. Josh, I don't care. I would stay far away from it. Post. Pre, I'd be eating cocaine pancakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Cocaine pancakes.
Yeah. I would be in the water still, conflicted. It would probably take me 3 days sitting on that submarine to come to a decision to say, I should do the right thing.
Yeah.
Even after post-recovery?
87 million.
Yeah, but dude, seriously,
dollars.
Tony made a good point.
End well.
They'll kill you over $50 worth of cocaine.
Listen, Linda, listen, Linda.
I would have turned it in.
Look, the way that I'm being a little, first of all, it's tomatoes and potatoes and
potatoes
and chips. But, dog, 87 mil. it'd take me a couple days to reconcile what's going on with
You can just see Juan sitting on top of the submarine deciding if he should go into the hatch or not.
I'm not worried about doing the drugs.
Yeah, no.
You just want to make the money, but
You would eventually be doing the drugs, though.
I would eventually be doing the drugs.
Yeah.
See?
But
Yeah.
no,
That's wild.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
No, dude, you would even consider. I wouldn't even want to touch it. I'd be so afraid to even touch the submarine. If I saw it, I'd just scream like a little girl.
I'd try, dude. I would love to drive it for 3 days. It'd be
cool to drive, just to be able to say you drove a submarine. That had
with
$87 million
cocaine
worth of coke on it.
Just pull up to port and like Boston, like call in, like, yo, I got a sub full of coke.
Yeah.
Call the
I got a
feds.
sub full of coke.
Found it in the Atlantic, coming in with the shipment.
Yeah, let the police know. Be like, hey guys, just want to let you know I'm bringing in a sub full of coke.
Yeah,
A sub full of coke.
Call Ricky Lake and tell everyone to do an interview.
Is she still there doing stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah, Ricky
Call that
Lake.
Stewart guy or whatever.
Yeah. Who's Stewart?
I don't know.
Yeah, call Stewart, whatever, dude. They're also talking about, so moving on from the $87 million worth of cocaine.
Yeah.
They are testing out, so in some European countries, they have a 4-day work week.
Great.
And they're also talking about doing that in the United States.
Yes.
So they did a trial on it in some industry. I don't know what sector it was in, but testing out a 4-day work week to see how because the whole premise behind it is 4 10s versus 5 8s. And seeing if everybody can still get the same amount of stuff done in those 4 days. And like, if so, why would you not?
Yeah.
Why would you not? If all your clients are being seen. Now, granted, this doesn't happen in every sector, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's not like our clients just don't need to have, crisis therapy and on Fridays, like we can't just be like Fridays, we did everything in our first 4 days of the week. We're good. Everybody's good on Friday. It's like, that's not how it really is.
Mm-hmm.
But some places can, like if it's, I don't freaking know, like, I don't know, selling stuff to places. I don't know. I'm sure they can sell all the stuff that they need to sell in the first 4 days of the week.
But you can have a floating shift Monday through Thursday, Tuesday through Friday. Or
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
You
mean?
can just staff for it.
That's, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Were you thinking that too before you said it?
Yeah. You could still offer, just
4
rolling.
10s.
Yeah. I would be all for it, especially as a new dad. I think your days are almost lost when you work, like whether it's 8 or 10. I don't think that would make a big difference, but having that extra day, even just to get stuff done around the house. And I think your mental health would be so much better. You'd have so much more time I think it would be better for time management for a lot of people, me included.
I'm thinking about that though, that floating shift concept. I feel like there would still be I don't know if that's, you'd have to hire up.
Yeah.
You'd have to hire additional people.
Mm-hmm.
You would. Because that crossover, if the people that aren't there on Monday, but are there for Tuesday through Thursday, and yes, there'd be crossover so that every day is covered, but there will be some days that are only semi-covered.
Right.
So that, you would still have to hire an additional staff member.
If there were 8 days in a week, it'd be perfect.
That's really all we got to do. 8 days. We
just do it. Let's change it.
You hear that, guys? We're changing it. It's official.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Grandpa's
Day.
Grandpa's
Day. It's
Yeah.
the day after Sunday and the day before Monday.
Yep.
Grandpa's Day. Figured it out, dude. We just hacked the whole freaking system.
Sheesh.
And then we're going to bring on $87 million worth of cocaine and figure it all out.
Yep.
Did you guys know that the CEO of TikTok does not allow his children to be on TikTok?
I've heard. Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Exactly what you think it does, that it's trash.
Yeah. It's just like an
The CEO.
addiction dopamine circuit, and he doesn't want his kids to get sucked into it.
I mean, that's kind of like, bro, if I'm watching that, are you making fun of me?
I heard you, bro.
I have a stutter.
I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that face, Juan.
I'm not on the. He's given
Looks
something
like
that
it.
I'm not receiving.
I didn't notice it for what it's worth, Matt, at all.
Seriously, it's not funny, dude. It's not funny at all. We cut. Oh,
I didn't move one flinch because I'm your twin.
we love each other.
That's right. Yo, that was good. We got everybody.
You got me.
We tricked everybody. All tricked.
Tony was like,
feel uncomfortable?
Immediately, I
Tony
was like,
a couple times has felt really uncomfortable.
I know you, but like not that well. And who knows? We've all got our little.
Sometimes it can come out. And you might only. I know some people like that that have like some sort of impediment or something like that comes out very, 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 very seldom.
Yeah,
and
I got them.
And subtle.
I got a weird eye thing when I get anxious. And then I also do the cough.
Remember when I asked you about that?
Yeah.
This was before we knew each other really well. And I asked you, I was like, why do you keep coughing like that? Are you sick? And you were like, no, it's just something that I do. And I was like, oh, dude, I felt like such an asshole.
Yeah.
I felt
sick,
so
bro.
bad.
And I'm like, no, I'm really anxious and nervous.
Yeah.
That's all.
Hey. I felt so bad.
Yeah.
Props to you for like just owning it though.
Bro,
real. The easy thing would have been like, I got a little cough. Dude,
I've been sick for like 35 years, man.
Right.
Matt eventually would have put the pieces together, but
Please don't talk about the eye roll and the call.
Still sick, dude? Like, you never aren't sick,
12
man.
years.
You need to go to the doctor.
Yeah. Like trying to hide the fact that I got a tick, but I'm like talking about how I ate fish out of a dumpster because I was shooting heroin. Like, where does that make sense?
Yeah, you can talk about that, but that's amazing. Last thing that I think that is worth mentioning right now, Berlin has made it legal to be in public swimming pools topless. All public swimming pools.
I feel like Berlin's better off than we are here. So
Berlin's just got it going on, dude. They're way ahead of us.
Yeah, what if they were like, look, but the men have to wear tops.
Men just have to wear tops, dude.
That would be.
They reverse it.
Yeah, and not like a t-shirt. You have to wear the top of a bathing suit top.
Yeah, I feel like Berlin's got it better off though. Their food, their weight's probably a lot better. You know what I mean?
Europe's ahead of us, 4-day
work weeks
and topless pools and
grandpa day, topless pools.
Yep. Heroin.
Parental leave, I think, is a lot better there.
Yeah, and they have assistance with the government.
Honestly, when we're talking just expected age, like life expecexpectancy,
100%. There's blue zones over there where people like the average length of life is like 95 to 100 years old.
Yeah.
I want to live in a blue zone, dude. I want literally live in a blue zone. Like I will one day I will live in a blue zone. Why would I not want to live in a place where people live in a blue zone? Additional 15, 20 years of life?
If you live in a blue zone,
even if I move over there halfway through, maybe I'll get half of the blue zone benefits.
Maybe. So what zone are we in? A brown zone?
We're in a fucking
we're in
something like that, like a brownish black.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have
olive green.
Yeah.
Bile.
Yeah. We're in
pea soup.
Yeah.
You ever seen pea soup before?
Yeah.
That's my cue to get a snack.
Get yourself a snack.
Right.
We ask our guests what they want to have when they come on, and you are so simple. You said water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a water guy.
That's so easy. We got tons of water. I was really hoping to have something special for you.
You could have had whatever you wanted. I just drank water and coffee, really. And
we got both of those.
I like to eat a lot, even though sometimes it's hard to tell, but I like to just eat calories and I don't drink them.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I don't like to drink. Yeah, that's true.
I've always liked water though. I know my dad doesn't like water, so
just doesn't.
I don't know. I don't get it. It's essential for life, but he can't drink plain water.
I know a couple people like that literally won't drink water. It's either juice, milk, pop, something like
how are you hydrated ever?
Well, some of the water is not even water. It's just liquid. Like they strip everything out of it.
Very true.
Right?
Like the minerals, and is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, the purified water.
I'm glad that me and you were having a conversation.
Yeah.
Matt's trying to talk to me with his face, but I won't look at him because he wants a response from me right now. But I'm not doing it.
It's true. You can
some of the water is not water.
Oh no,
it's
just water. It's just
liquid.
Not as
it's just liquid. It's not water.
I mean, think about it.
It's just liquid.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. He knows what I'm saying.
But it is still water. Yeah. So I'm just going to continue to be Switzerland here.
In order to recover.
He said, I know what you're saying, but it's still water. Yes. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's just the water's not even water. It's just liquid.
It's liquid. Dude, this is liquid. It's not even water.
Yeah.
Water's supposed to have all the minerals and stuff, and this gets sucked out.
Right.
Yeah. It's only in blue zones.
Yeah.
Only in blue zones to get the good water on Grandpa Day.
Dude's named Giuseppe and freaking Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah. that actually reminds me of our sponsor for this episode. It's Giuseppe's Life Water.
Yeah. Thank God for
Giuseppe's Life Water.
Thank God.
From the blue zones of the Arctic. You know about them, right? They gave us a nice, huge cash. Actually, they didn't pay us in cash. They gave us a submarine full of cocaine.
Okay. Josh, are you taking notes?
For this episode to talk.
Oh, man.
They said we support you guys. Giuseppe's Life Water believes in what you do. We cannot let you know who we are, so we're putting our water in your normal water bottles. So actually, these water bottles
are Life Water.
Are not Gordon's water.
They're Life Water.
That's Giuseppe's Life Water, believe it or not. And so then they gave us a bunch of cocaine. It was actually a combination of cocaine and cash for this episode.
And then P.S. we only work 4 days a week.
Exactly, and they don't wear their tops in public pools.
Yeah,
they do wear tops.
No, they don't.
The guys do.
The guys do, but they don't.
There's no guys though. All women.
Giuseppe and Bruno are women.
Yes.
Oh,
we don't even know if they're human.
Oh, yeah.
Giuseppe and Bruno, you know them.
Heard about them.
Sweethearts.
Jack Kerouac wrote a book about him, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tony. We're getting off track here. We're getting really, really off track. Tony, I'm sorry. Sorry that you
guys have some great chemistry. Just trying to fit in. The bromance is real.
Yeah, dude.
I apologize. We cut into your time a little bit, but Tony, tell us. So there's a lot of things that I wish we had 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Pre-recovery, The Ohio State University, post-recovery, what you do with the health department, and speaking at schools. Because I know that you're good at that, and I know that you're really passionate about that too, and just like working with kids and prevention and just how it all wraps together. So those are the things that I want to talk about. Let's start with, give us a Cliff Notes version of your pre-recovery, the chaos. Give us the chaos. Tell us what that was like.
I'll try to be as quick as possible. First off, I was raised, and I'm going to be as quick as I can. I was raised in like the perfect, nothing's perfect, but perfect household, parents together, dad coached my sports, mom, teacher, got good grades, was doing really well in high school, made a couple bad decisions, and I have a genetic predisposition, and I think I learned a lot the hard way. But I had no good reason to really get into using drugs. I think it was just not being able to advocate for myself, not having the tools to make good decisions, feeling like I wanted to fit in. And I learned pretty quickly my brain was wired a certain way that, when I grew up and I was in high school in the late 2010s, 2006, 2010, it was way too easy to get OxyContin. And it's kind of crazy looking back. That stuff was still after having done heroin and other things, that was just top of the line. That and Opana, these things were so strong and pure and clean. You do that a couple times and, you get hooked. It started with me with just smoking weed, and I was thinking about playing college basketball, thinking about where did I want to go. It was nothing big, like Division III, small school, but that, or do I want to go to Ohio State? And me and my buddy started smoking weed together every day. And next thing you know, Vicodin's passed out on the high school baseball bus. And it's like, okay, I really liked how that made me feel. Then you get offered Oxy. And I remember the first time I got offered a line, I remember thinking I really trusted this person. They were my best friend my whole life. And it was okay, I'm not going to die, but I was still I'm going to die if I do this, if I snort this. Yeah, and I did just a little tiny bit. And I've never had so much fun jumping on a trampoline and eating ribs. And I think, having that unbelievable first experience led to, of course, getting sucked in a lot easier. And from there, I kind of just hit it in the shadows. It takes a little bit of time to for it to get out of control. But then the pills are hard to find. And then heroin enters the picture. I'm at Ohio State at this point. I'm kind of getting by. But then when heroin entered the picture, it was just
crushed you.
I couldn't do school anymore, and my parents obviously knew something was up, and then that led to multiple attempts at treatment, and it's really just been a journey for real. I'm still in the journey, still learning every day, but each time I tried to get sober, I think I learned something new that I've been able to carry with me that I think is unique to me. I don't know if that answers the question.
It does. It answers it wonderfully.
The genetics is a big thing I like to talk about too, because I just had another cousin pass away from an overdose in Sandusky, and I've had that's the fourth on my mom's side between an uncle and a couple cousins. And it's just, you know, with alcoholism that runs in the family and stuff. My parents never used any substances, but I look back and I think, okay, they say, you know, 50% of your risk lies with your genetics. And I do think that's true because I've lived, I had no trauma, no great reason to escape with drugs. I mean, by nature, it can be a little anxious, but drugs definitely covered that up. And then it just became like, I need this every day to live, even if it's just to go outside and go to the restaurant with people, like to interact. I need it. And, you know, so I've been,
so how long did that progress when you like, from the time that you found heroin, okay, to the time that you ended up getting clean and sober? How long did heroin last?
It was a couple years for sure, you know, snorting it, but it was different in Columbus. So, you know, then I was smoking it and then I was trying injecting it a little bit. And I think it was just, I would say 3-4 years. And then each time I'd go to treatment, the second time I went to treatment, I tried Suboxone, and then I was on Suboxone for like a year. But I think those medications save lives and have a great purpose. But at the time I wasn't ready for that. And I was just using it as a crutch for me. And the minute I got taken off of it, I started feeling that, like, you still withdraw? I started feeling that, and it lasts like so long. I'm sick of sneezing and, you know, having, you know, all, and like, go in the bathroom, and it was a couple days, and then it was just like right back to it. And I did really well in school that year when I was on Suboxone. But when I got off it, that would have been a couple years later, I went right back to it. And then things happened in my life. I didn't have money, and I was just, I guess, depressed. And so next thing you know, I thought, okay, I'm going to just try to get Suboxone from a friend for myself. I went home from winter break and I stopped doing heroin. So then I started taking Suboxone, and then I started taking Xanax and drinking. And at the time I thought it's just opioids.
It was always something though.
Yeah. And you start mixing those, you find the right mixture to, like, all right, I'm going to sit back and watch this show for 2 hours and just not worry about anything. And, you know, that spiraled to 15 Xanax bars a day, drinking. And that led to an accident in 2017 where I'm so lucky. It's probably the color of my skin and just the way I treated the first responders, but I had like 39 Xanax bars all in one bag, and I blew like a 0.2 something, you know. And I remember getting in that accident, and like, I was so lucky. I lost control of my car and just spun out and hit a guardrail, which guardrails are expensive. So don't hit a guardrail.
What did they crack your head
like
for?
$20,000.
20 grand?
I think it might have been like 15. I don't know. I owed my parents like $25,000 between the lawyer and the guardrail, and maybe it was like 10 or 15. Don't quote me. I tried to.
A guardrail.
Yeah. But, wow, you know, I got so lucky that I didn't get a felony. And then seriously, I still thought my life was over with the OVI, but, you know, thankfully I've gotten more chances. And you would have thought that would have been rock bottom. But after that, a couple years sober, you know, isolation, early COVID, drink. Next thing you know someone from a time you went to rehab like 5 years ago on Facebook. Let's message them and just be like, you know, all you have to do is reach out, and you can tell if they're doing well, or like, you know, you'll know what's up. And can I get a perk? But I don't want it to be like a fake perk. And then no. And then so it's finally like, all right. And I did heroin again. And I think when I was first started doing opioids, it was, you know, I think it was heroin. I mean, we knew what we were getting, at least more so back then.
It's changed now.
Fentanyl is much different. And I got something weird shortly after I started again. And I can't remember the last time I ever did opioids, and like, don't remember the whole day. So I was just like unresponsive, and thank goodness, you know, I have such a great support system. I know a lot of people don't have that. And that's why it's awesome what you guys do. And that's why I do the work I do, because your support system doesn't have to be your friends and family. You know, it can be anyone. And I think that's so important. I love the saying, the opposite of addiction is connection. And I think I've learned through the course of just through the ups and the downs, I consider myself in long-term recovery, like years and years, because even with that slip up, I carried over so much that I learned the time before. And I think, you know, in short, that's kind of been my journey with substances. And now I obviously practice total abstinence, and that's what works for me. But it's crazy because I know people that I was doing heroin with in high school, and they were just as bad as I was, who can have a beer now and then. Hey, more power to them. And they're doing they're doing really well. And it's just like, wow.
A lot of similarities in our stories, and we all are. We're all so much more alike than we are different. You get clean. You have your last two. When you finally got clean, was it because of that slip up and you learned, or did you end up going to treatment one last final time? I
didn't. I just detoxed in my bed at my parents and you know, over Christmas break, and
And then did you go to school after that? Did you finish school after that?
The school finished in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the accident was post school, and I was just working at like GNC. And then I was back in Toledo for the last one. And then, yeah, I just, powered through, I guess. And I don't recommend that, but I just realized too, like, you could just see it in like my parents' eyes and everyone's eyes. Like, it's, if I don't, like, I'm going to be alone. And I still had those thoughts. Like, thankfully, like, they just kind of took everything from me. And I decided, I'll just give this a shot. And a victory the first day is brushing your teeth. And then the victory the next day is this. And then next thing you know, I can set this goal. And oh my gosh, I get a big boy job, at JFS at the time. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to start setting physical goals for myself, and you start eating healthy. And then you start like realizing, like, I just need something to look forward to, even if it's small. It could be going out to dinner on Sunday. It could be March Madness,
anything.
Like, it could be anything.
Do you remember how much those little things meant though?
Yeah.
Remember that? I mean, they still do. Little things mean a lot, but like truly just being like, oh my God, I brushed my teeth every day for the last week. It's shit that is just now it's life to us.
Like taking a shower was like physically hard. Like, it didn't feel good. I was so empty. Everything was so empty inside of me, which I love the full belly thing. Cause sometimes today I'm like, my plate's so full, new dad. And am I doing my job well enough? And I want to qualify for a Boston Marathon, and I want to do all these things. And then it's like, why am I stressing? There was a time when I never thought I could have this.
Yeah. Didn't even know how to brush your teeth.
I saw the worst in myself. So, yeah.
So tell us about that. You have an amazing job. Tell us what you do, and not only just what you do, which I know what that is, and it's incredible work, but tell me why you are the person that's meant to be doing that based off of your history. Because I think that you are the right person based off of just your heart and your experience to be serving in a role like that.
Mm-hmm. It's just interesting how it came together. Honestly, I saw the job posting, and I remember thinking about it and being like, no, like, it's too close to home. I don't want to, at that time I thought, I couldn't, my recovery will just be for me. And, I don't like to define myself by my recovery as much as it's such a huge part of what I am. And it's made me who I am. I don't like to define myself by it. So I was like, I don't know. Well, something just popped in my head, and, it had to have been God. And it was just like, you should do it. You should go for it. You should apply. You should be honest about being in sobriety. And I went for it. And sure enough, the health department hired me, which I think shows we've come a long way, that a government agency will hire you after you're being open about your recovery. Mm-hmm. And I just went for it. And then from there, I didn't really know what overdose prevention meant at the time. So I've learned, but being able to, I lead the Lucas County Opiate Coalition, which essentially just brings together people from any sector, anyone that's interested, anyone can be a part of it, share resources, share information, meet quarterly, and really connect and try to identify their ways that we can be better as a community to address the issue. That's been cool. We do a fatality review as part of the job, which has been the hardest part, probably just seeing, the deaths and how they're avoidable. And, there's a story behind every one, but beyond that, you can see how different drug trends are today. And that's been cool. But we do a community response plan where essentially we just do surveillance of everything going on in the community. We get daily reports on, is there an overdose surge is the goal? Like, can we identify that, and can we get that information out fast enough?
We get those emails, we get those communications.
And it's a balance.
I think that it's incredibly important.
It's a balance because, like, the thresholds, we can't diminish 2 deaths in 24 hours, for instance, but we also can't, we always try to find the right way to, like, we don't want to send out alert every day and desensitize people, but like, we never want to diminish that 10 overdoses in a 24-hour period in Toledo is too much. Yeah. So, and that's just, the big thing is, I think my approach has changed too. Like, we're humans, everyone seeks comfort, and it's human history. We're never going to stop people from using substances. So I think I've learned that overdose prevention is keeping people safe. And especially if you develop a problem, how do you let people see the other side of their life and rediscover who they are? And I think that's through just letting people know, if you live in Lucas County, you can get naloxone for free. It's free. It's a nasal spray. It's the easiest thing to use. It's, harmless, and you can get it. And if you suspect, or if you're a family or friend or a person struggling, just carry it, have it on you. It's like a part of the first aid kit. That's been huge. And then beyond that, like you mentioned, working I think you mentioned that earlier. We'll probably get to that, but I think educating kids on making better choices. One other thing that I don't want to talk too much about my job, but it has been really cool is the stigma piece, especially in the community. The Leave Behind program, for the listeners and for you guys, is a really brief synopsis. It's like, we see so many people go against medical advice, and after an overdose, they don't want to go to the hospital. They don't want to get in trouble, and that's it. They're not going. They realize they don't have to go. And the Leave Behind program, Toledo Fire's adopted it. We've now got Sylvania and Springfield on board. These first responders can leave a kit with either the friends or family or the person that overdosed. Chances are, if you're overdosing and you're not going to the hospital, you're refusing, the chances of you overdosing again are unfortunately pretty high. So we want to keep you alive so that when you're ready to either go to treatment or go get care, you've got a kit. And I mean, that's the first line of defense. We've been able to expand that program. And as a part of that, in January, I was able to go and train over 450 EMS first responders in Lucas County.
Amazing.
And I shared my story, focusing on just where I was, how first responders, especially in that accident, played such a role in my life. That subtle, they're not going to be the ones holding your hand to treatment, but that experience being positive can maybe that person will wake up the next day and say, you know what, maybe I'm worth it. I can't remember the last time I felt treated like a human. I'm going to call for help. And from that, those conversations have led to other outside jurisdictions in Lucas County wanting to come on board. And I think, that's a piece that I'll never know maybe the exact impact, but if I can help save one person's life, I still struggle with, am I deserving of what I have today? It makes it all worth it. And I think that's my why with what I do.
Tony. Tony. Tony.
Tony, man.
I don't want to talk too much, but I'm passionate about it.
So good.
Tony.
Tony.
Do you realize I kind of got lost in your eyes?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I kind of just
You should see my daughter's eyes.
You get lost in her eyes. Yes. I'm having a daughter in 7 days, so I'm really excited.
I know. I'm so excited for you too. I was going to ask later, but the joy of my life. But
this is what I'm talking about, dude. You were crushing guardrails,
man,
a few years ago, and now you work for a governmental agency, sending out like county-wide notifications, doing research on overdose fatality. I mean, you're working with hospitals, you're working with council, you're working with fire and EMS, and you're like an integral part of it. Do you and you're speaking at schools. You have a daughter. You're training for a marathon, you said. I mean, dude, what? Like, did you ever think, Tony, fuck Tony, did you ever think that those statistics, like, seriously, man, you were seconds away. You were probably like,
man,
a few extra pieces of powder of whatever you put into your body away from being one of those statistics that you measure. Like, you literally look at these numbers all day and you're just like, oh my God, we had X amount of deaths last week. Like, you were going to be one of those people that somebody studied, and look at your life today, dude.
There's like
amazing.
There's a laundry list of things that could have gone just a different way that wouldn't have led me to where I am today. And I think that's a big part of why this is so important too, is like, it takes the community, and you never know what part of the community can play a role in someone's life, even if it's small. Those small things add up. And I don't know, I still struggle. Like, I don't feel like I'm that incredible. I still struggle with stuff, like my life looks great today, but I'm still working through it and working through things. And us people in recovery, sometimes I feel like it's not that we're on an island, but like, I just don't think the average person understands how similar someone in recovery is to them. They're literally the same. We all struggle with something. And that something is big for everyone.
Absolutely.
And just because it's substances and heroin, and it's been so, like, I don't know, it sounds so extreme. I don't want people to forget that, like, we all struggle with stuff, and my life is great today. And I think there was a time when I thought, getting sober is going to fix all my problems. No, it's just giving me the tools to learn how to work through those things. And even just doing this, like, or giving presentations, by nature, I consider myself an introvert. And I think one of the best pieces of my recovery has been making myself uncomfortable. We don't grow if we're not uncomfortable.
Truth. Yeah, baby. Yeah,
and that means wanting to come on this show, and even though, like, a little nervous, just do it.
Yeah.
And I keep doing these things that make me uncomfortable, and you just realize you're capable of so much more. And then that becomes intoxicating in its own right to like see what you're capable of. And that's where life really happens.
That is intoxicating.
And I think, you know, I know that you guys feel the same way. I mean, you guys do such amazing work, and I certainly look up to you as both as mentors, because I keep an eye on what you guys do, and you know, it's incredible. I feel like I'm this tiny little peewee man, and you guys are these giants, and I just feel very lucky to be here.
Not even close. Not even close.
Dude.
Not even close.
No.
I just appreciate, you know, your guys' honesty too. And it's still hard for me to talk about this stuff, but opening that conversation, you know,
huge.
Being able to talk about it, these things live in the dark, and so many more people than we know struggle with it. And the more open and honest we can be, I think the better it positions other people to be like, you know, I'm going to start talking about this. And it takes a community.
It does. I agree 100%. I could not have said that better myself. And I look up to you too. Seriously. You do fantastic work.
Seriously, I do.
I'm not
seriously. No, I know.
I'm not saying that because we're on camera or because you said it to me. I'm saying it because it's true.
Yeah.
I look up to anybody that's fighting for their life and changing things. I don't care if it's been for one day or for one lifetime. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That anybody can do that. And then to come on and talk about that. Give us 2 minutes, because I know that this is important to you, and I want to save a little bit of time for Juan. How important is prevention to you? Because we didn't get to like really focus on that too much, and I know we don't have a ton of time left. But tell us about, because talk about like getting outside of yourself and speaking on a podcast. I mean, speaking on a stage in front of 500 kids, like you know, that's different.
That's like,
it's different.
I mean, it's
different.
To me, so like ODH has this grant, which is great, and we do all these cool things.
ODH.
Ohio Department of Health, sorry. Okay. That's like a lot of the work I do is through a grant through them. Youth prevention isn't a big piece of that. And I look at the problem like, what's the best tool we have? Obviously, we're saving lives as we can, but we're responding to the problem. And a lot of the stuff we do, just in general, youth prevention is a way we can be proactive and like just equip kids to make better choices. Like, I just look back and I just know that I didn't grasp, and it's hard because kids don't want to listen sometimes. But I didn't grasp the seriousness and just the reality. You know, high school's fleeting, and you don't have to make a choice that just because you're uncomfortable, you can have an escape route. Talk to someone, you know, don't bottle stuff up. And I just try to share the lessons I've learned. You know, my story may not relate exactly to the next person, but I try to share the tools that I wish I would have used as a kid. And a lot of that's just centered. I know it sounds simple, but I think it just comes down to like being prepared and having the ability to make a better decision. But like DARE, as well intentioned as it was like, just say no.
Yeah.
But then you just say nothing. And I know friends noticed that like something was probably off with me towards the end of high school. And I think people are just afraid to say something. Yeah. And I think, I'm not saying that's a consequence of DARE, but like, look out for each other. That's what I tell kids, you know, just like, if you think something's wrong, who knows if my life would have been different if someone had said, something's not right, this isn't right. I'm going to not like tattle on you, but like you need to like have some
call
like,
each other out on our
I think
we're on the same team here. We're in the same school, we're trying to do the same to get to the next level of life. Let's work together.
And I don't think kids realize that like your friends in high school a lot of times aren't your friends and sometimes you'll have a best friend, of course. Sure. But everyone's life changes so much, whether you go to college or you get a job, go to trade school. I don't want to say ruin your life, but like, don't make a choice that's going to impact so much of your life potentially just because you want to fit in right now.
Your friends right now.
And I think, how do you communicate that? And that's
your friends aren't going to be your friends forever, folks. Just so you know that. Right. Wake the hell up.
Yeah.
I'll say it for you, bro.
No, I know. And I can tell, and if any kids out there watching, having to rebuild a friend group and make all new friends as an adult, almost, you know, in your late 20s is hard work.
Yeah.
That's been another thing I've had to do. And I'm very proud of being able to do it and make true friends. But man, you don't want to be in that position where you love people, but you kind of have to just like move on, because if you don't, you could die. I mean, that's real. And
it's as real as it gets right there.
Yeah. So
Tony, thank you so much.
I think that covers it.
You did a really good job.
Thank you.
Tony's the freaking comeback kid, y'all. We're dubbing this what the heck's it called? An episode? This is the Comeback Kid episode.
Ooh.
Starring Tony.
Ooh.
Tony's the Comeback Kid.
I like that.
You guys, please, seriously, thank you, Tony. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you so much for coming. I know that you're a busy guy, but thank you for coming here and spending an hour with us on a Thursday. You guys, please share this. You know that was amazing stuff. Somebody that you know out there can relate to this, whether it's somebody that's, has some young kids, or whether it is somebody that's a young kid, or if it's somebody that's in early recovery, somebody that works in a governmental agency. There were so many amazing things to hear. People need to hear this episode. So please, regardless of what you're listening on, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share this episode so that somebody can hear this and ultimately find help. Our goal, we're trying to reach at least 1,000 followers on YouTube right now, so please help us get there. Like it, send it, share it, whatever you got to do. Call your grandmother and tell her to like it too. Mm-hmm. Grandmas like to watch the show. Grandpas love to watch the show on Grandpa Day.
That's right.
Specifically on Grandpa Day.
Carry Narcan.
Yeah, carry Narcan, damn it. It doesn't hurt. It only hurts if you don't carry it.
Yeah.
You hear that? Carry Narcan. You can go to the Lucas County Health Department and get Narcan. There's a lot of places that you can go to get Narcan. We're going to put information about the Lucas County Health Department in the description about this episode on every platform that we're putting it on. So please click on that link and follow information to get more information about how to get more information about how to get information about carrying Narcan.
That's right.
I'm being very serious. So every single human being needs to carry Narcan. It does not hurt. It doesn't cost you anything. And you cannot do anything wrong by giving it to somebody. If you think that someone is experiencing an overdose, you could potentially save a life. And I promise you that if you think, oh, I'm not going to run across an overdose, you will. You will. It could be anywhere. It can be in a public restroom. It can be in a Wendy's drive-thru. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. So please, you don't want to be in a situation where you're caught without Narcan on you. That sucks. Sucks for you, feeling helpless, and it sucks for that person. So give us a call at 844-561-LIFE. We want to find help for you. I don't care what you're struggling with. We're going to find resources. That's what we do. That's what we've done for almost 8 years now. That's what we'll continue to do for the rest of our existence. Before we go, I do want to thank you guys for watching, but I want to give a shout out to our sponsor. And Juan is going to really, really give some thank you to them. Giuseppe's water. Giuseppe's water from wherever it was from. I forget.
Yeah. I can't believe that you just dropped the ball on that, dude. So first and foremost, guys, this episode is brought to you by Giuseppe and Bruno's water, Life Force water, as a matter of fact.
That's right.
And they donated to us $87 million worth of cocaine and cash that was recovered off the coast of Iowa. Now, they found that money, and they said, we want to find somewhere that's going to do good things. So we're going to donate it to Team Recovery, and they're our sponsors here today. Now, Giuseppe and Bruno's goodness called Life Force water is similar to a frog, similar to a kayak, similar to a backpack, and equally as good as a rock. They're good things, just like this water. So I want you guys to think about one thing. What happens if your name's Giuseppe? What happens if your name's Bruno? What happens if you come together with a Giuseppe or a Bruno and you create a company that creates water that keeps the minerals? None of that purified shit. None of that purified shit. We're talking about real mineralized water that'll keep you forceful in the life force area of your lives. We're talking about keeping a good equilibrium. Your toes and your circulation will run fast. All those things will happen unequivocally at the same time. If you're an older gentleman, you'll feel younger. And if you're a younger man, you'll feel like a good looking woman. And I promise you that. If you end up at a pool in Sweden or in Berlin and you're a male, you will not have to wear a top according to their laws, just like the women at the pools. They don't have to do that. And that's as a result of this $87 million donation from Giuseppe and Bruno. So shout out to these guys. Do me a favor. One time for the one time. You only got 3 seconds to think about this. 1, 2, 3. It's gone, but I'll tell you about the subscription. You get a full month subscription minus 14 hours. So it's not a full 14 minutes. But if you keep going from this second on, we will send you not water, but M&Ms that go with the water that you're going to buy. We're proud of you for doing that. So keep that coming. Call 1-932-476-61, and you're going to get a hold of a guy named Derek, and he's from Sandusky, Ohio. He will point you in the right direction of a website. He'll shoot you over to Nancy in broadcasting. She'll get you in touch with Giuseppe's wife, Cinderella, and you're going to make some business happen. Thanks, guys. One more time. 129366423 www.w is the website. Thank you. Love you.